She had nothing, no money, no support, no friends, and no family. No one believed in her. But in one moment, she decided to risk it all, and it changed everything. Here's the story of a woman who was broken, stuck, alone, and forgotten, until she finally chose herself. She didn't start out special. In fact, she was invisible. A woman stuck in a job she hated, surrounded by bills she couldn't pay, and weighed down by the crushing reality that no one cared. She wasn't just struggling, she was barely holding on. Every day felt like an endless cycle of disappointment. She was just one face in the crowd, and most of the time, she felt like she didn't even exist. The world didn't owe her anything, and she was starting to feel like maybe she didn't owe herself anything either. Her family? They'd given up on her a long time ago. No one expected her to succeed, not even her. The thought that she could ever break free from this life was laughable to her. But deep inside, she felt a spark of something more, a voice that whispered, "This can't be all there is." But deep down, something was eating at her, a thought that kept her up at night. Is this it? Is this the life I'm supposed to live? Then, one night, everything changed. After a particularly bad day, getting yelled at by a boss, not having enough money for groceries, feeling like a failure, she snapped. It wasn't just the stress, it was the feeling of being stuck. She stood in front of her bathroom mirror that night and stared at her reflection. And that was the moment. Something inside her clicked. She couldn't do it anymore. She was done with the same life, the same grind, the same struggle. What was the risk? She quit her job, no backup, no security. It was reckless, impulsive, and everyone, her friends and even strangers, told her she was crazy. You're giving up your stability for a dream? Are you insane? Her family? They were ashamed. They didn't understand. They thought she was throwing everything away. They wanted nothing to do with her decision, and honestly, they wanted nothing to do with her, period. They couldn't see the vision. They couldn't see the possibility. And in that moment, she felt more alone than ever. But she didn't care. She'd rather take the risk and fail than stay in a life that was slowly killing her spirit. She had no clue what was next. She didn't have a safety net, but she knew that not trying was worse than failing. Those first months were brutal. She struggled, a lot. No job meant no money. She ran through savings fast. Bills piled up even higher. She doubted herself, often, late nights, frustration, and the feeling that everyone had been right. Maybe she was crazy. But there was something deeper inside her that kept her going. She couldn't stop. Every failure pushed her to learn, to grow, to hustle harder. And little by little, things started to shift. She started a side project, a passion she'd always wanted to explore, but was too scared to commit to. Slowly, it picked up. First, a few clients, then a few more. People began to notice her. Her reputation grew, and with it, her confidence. Fast forward a year, she wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. Her side project had turned into a full-time business. She wasn't a millionaire yet, but she had financial freedom. More than that, she had something she never thought she'd have: control over her life. And the best part? The people who once told her she was crazy, they were now asking her how she did it. They were inspired, they were jealous. But she didn't care about that anymore. She was living her dream, and all it took was one risk, one moment when she chose herself over comfort. The truth, no one knows what will happen when you take that risk. You don't know if you'll succeed or fail, but this one thing is certain: you'll never know if you don't take the leap.